Okay, so here we are. Now we have successfully put on our body. We are going to put the fur on today. I'm not too overthoughting. Now, if you want, you can mark it. So if you were to do 2 colours or 3 colours, you would design your where you want your saddle or your patches, whatever you want. Bear in mind that your ears will be about here. At the same time, I'm not putting them on until after I do pretty much all up here. I don't like them getting in my way. Now, you will need to invest in your hair straightener for this. The scissors may be of no use. You might have to get better scissors if you want. These ones are my favorites, but for purposes I will try and use these ones as much as possible. Now, if you get your wad of stuff, now I like to prep it, so it's in a pretty long felt process. Now you want to just kind of slide a bit out and then slide a bit more out. So this is technically still too much. I only like working in small clumps. Anything bigger and it just becomes too much. So I let it split it again, because guinea pigs, as hairy as they are not very thick. Hair straightener, keep saying a dryer. Haven't learnt my lesson. Now, if you don't have to do this. I have actually done a guinea pig without doing any hair straightening. They don't seem to, it doesn't seem to matter. Each one has its own uniqueness. So now I usually start at the rump. I kind of just go around anywhere between here or here. It's not a major thing. So yes, this is a long thin piece that I'm putting down. This is the first point of fur. I try and stick in a line. I don't know if you can see that. It's a perfect line. Perfectly crooked. And then I add my bottle of glue. And I just do that. This helps hold it in. Again, you don't have to use glue. You could probably get away with just no glue. For the top part of the fur, especially where most people are going to pat, you know, they're going to rub their little guinea pig. Now what I do is I kind of go, see how it's kind of sunken in? I go a little bit up here, just by half a centimetre. That way it's, and then I just kind of fold that. I hold it and fold it, and then I just go over the top of that. So you get like this kind of little layover. You don't have to fold as thickly or deeply. These are just tackings. The next row we'll do it along that one there, not on it, just above it. Now tassels, these bits, they hang down, ignore them as best you can. Now I might not worry about, sometimes you can cut your fur if you're worried. You can cut it as you go. It's not a major thing. Like I said, I don't really stress too much about it. As you can see, this is a lot thinner than the other one. So if that's the case, I try and do one side and then I'll come back and do another side. As you can see, I'm getting a bit rounded here, which is I don't want. So what I'm going to actually do is go over here. I'm going to try and bring that back down. So as you can see, yes, I am using the glue. I am needle felting into the glue, the needle. Oh, there's the wire, so that's fine. And I'm just going to fold this down. I don't have to go a lot. I'm just going to try and fold it on an angle. Now, if you feel the need to take a break, you can. I get really nervous, excited when I'm doing these because they start to come alive for me. Not literally, I'm not that weird, but they do start to feel and look like real little babes. Now I'm just going to put this over the top. I know I missed like a gap, but I'm not, if that's going to help your understanding. It just goes in there. So I kind of go on to the top line of where the last one was, and then I'd also go up here. So it's like a centimetre above. Half a centimetre, I know. You'll get used to it. You can just go line for line, but I find they make too much of a ridge where the fold point is. So I like to just kind of give it all of these things. And as we have discovered, most everything we start out stressing about is forgotten about. So it's not a major thing. So we get this and we go fold it over. As you can see, this is the perfect point of your lovely little guinea pig. Now your brush comes in handy for both reasons. One, you can brush it out. It's good to keep brushing it out, otherwise it will tangle and you might get a knot later on. Just don't pull, like I'm only literally just tacking at it. This bit will be all chopped off anyway, so it's nothing major there. It's just to keep all this nice and flowed. So your guinea pig looks great. It is tempting and it will probably make me want to do it. I probably will do it. Just cut some of this off. But I get anxious if I do it too soon, because then I get too frequent at it. I'm going to go here. I'm just going to do the top side. As you can see, I'm not hair drying these ones, hair straightening these ones. I don't need to. It is like optional. I sometimes do it, I sometimes don't. There's no rule to it. It is up to you. I find if the wool behaves for me, I won't need to straighten it as much. If this is too coarse, I will use the dry hair straightener. The other thing that you want to do is you can do it, which we will do, just to help you out and to help me out, because you know it's a happening thing. I'm gonna put this on there. If you can't get a good fold, just put your needle like that and just fold it over. Looks like a little bit of a lip, and then just fill back over it. Don't stress too much because most of it will be forgotten about. People won't see all these layers underneath, they'll only look at the finished product. Now, as you can see, this is my guinea pig's backside. Now, I'll try these scissors. Now, as the curve goes, I kind of go downwards, as you can see. That way I'm keeping with these. I don't want to make it like a cut, so I try and keep it in the fur direction. Again, if you've got a dog pet groomer shearer, yeah, you can use it. I have, and there's no denying it. I get overwhelmed with it, I guess is the word I'm saying. I get too far advanced with it now. I'll just cut all these ones off. Don't worry, I'll probably end up shearing more of this off as I go. And that way you can kind of see the process of your guinea pig. As you can see, the rump comes around. I'm most likely definitely gonna groom all this up. So as you go, you will find yourself wanting to cut it. Don't be afraid. Just slowly does it is the way I'd go. Make sure you're not pulling on the hair because it will pull out. Even though the glue is in there, it's not dry yet. I haven't managed to make, so this is where the sides kind of go. This is where I go left to right a lot, so this is why I don't like doing the ears until after. Careful of the wire in there. You can hit the wire and break your needle, but these wires are pretty thin and they're not too hard. They tend to just bounce back off your actual needle, or your needle bounces off them, which is fine. Just do that. Don't think of it as a shape at this point. Now I'll put some glue down because it's right on the hip bone. Again, you do not need to worry about overthinking. Okay, now I'm going to just go here, because all fur goes backwards. Even when it's looks like it's going underwards, it's actually going backwards. If you have a pet guinea pig, it's probably not advisable to have it on the table with you. Although, if they're a smart guinea pig and they like to get up to mischief, you might want to show them your final product. They might try and eat it, but it is advisable not to, because, yeah. So as you can see, I just get rid of the fluff. You have a little jar beside you, that'd be great. Just pop all your waste into that. It's not really reusable. I have tried. Now, this is where things get a bit elongated, so I don't like using really long whiffs once I've done the back side of things. I just like to have, I like to do them in small groups, so I kind of call it the sides, back, and mid, and yeah, sides, back, sometimes middle. So same thing applies. Put all this along here. It does kind of go in a line. If you don't want to stay with that line because it might become too prominent, you can maneuver it so that they're like a, I don't know if you can see it, they're like layered like that, so that the next one is there and the next one's there. And I should and then it's totally up to you. As you can see, I don't use a lot of glue. It's not like I'm using a lot, hence why I use have a little bottle. You probably only need half of that bottle. And it will last, trust me. You don't have to use that bottle. You don't even have to use these scissors. Or even these needles. You might have your own favorite needle. When once you get a bit more confident with what you're doing, you'll be able to zip through this in no time. So I'm going to keep going. I was only going to do a small tutorial, so I've seen so many different ones online that are relatively quick. They're like, 6 minutes or so. But I get frustrated with them because they don't really show me how they went from this to that. It's like suddenly they've got all this. And I'll be like, hey, hang on, how'd you get there? And yeah, there's no way of knowing. So to save any dramas, I have decided to make 2 forms of tutorial with the same videos, of course. This is the long tutorial you are watching. And it is mildly edited, just when I dribbled on about nothing important. And it is also relatively long. The short one is the same videos, just I've literally redone into probably, I don't even know, 10-15 minutes, I guess. Makes it a bit more thingo. Now, as you can see, this gap here, I will fill that up with more, which is something we do. As you can see, I kind of just folded that back onto itself, but it is a thing, it's gonna happen, we do that. So it looks quite, I've left so much, what am I gonna do? So, but it's okay. Guinea pigs are durable. This is one of those moments where you can go, I like to go on an angle. Again, a lot of this is going to be hidden by all the other fur. If you do it too thick, it can look too poofy. I have a tendency of making my guinea pigs very hippie. Very hippie. I don't know why. If you go through my other YouTube videos, you will see I have a collection on there that has very much been a hippie video. You will see what I mean between smooth coats and furry ones, and you will also see the transition of clays and plastic claws and also wax. I use wax a lot. The wax is a very big thing. So as you can see, it's not a major thing over here. I mean, no one's really going to lift up your guinea pig and go, oh my god, you missed a spot. They're going to be too fascinated with the fact that it looks like a guinea pig. Pardon me about coughing on screen. I am not a savvy YouTuber. I'm not even a savvy socializer. I'm a crafter. I love crafting. I've crafted my whole life. I've only just recently decided to get into the sales because why not? It is scary and nerve-wracking and fun all at once. I do tell people if they want to give it a go, do it. The life is short theory really does stick. It is one of those things you can just focus and lose yourself in these awesome processes. So now I'm kind of hiding all those little imperfections. So this way it looks like this little piece goes all the way along there. Again, you can cut as much or as less as you want now. Because I got that extra piece in there, I'm going to probably cut a little bit more. I do tend to get cut happy, and people will go, no, don't do it, just don't. But I'm gonna cut it. As I say, the flow of fur is relatively how you want it. As I say, your guinea pig looks like they're fatter than what they are. People think the rump isn't going to be round enough. I try not to make the core rump very round because I have a tendency of, exaggerating it. And then it looks comical, but you'll probably see some of the first guinea pigs I ever did. And they are very much the, See, I'm getting too cocky now. I'm starting to go, you know what, I'm going to cut more of this off. And then my brain's telling me, no, just stop. And I'm like, I'm going to keep cutting. So it is a really tug of wars and wheels. But so far we have done that. Now I was going to pause and come back to here just because it's going to be boring watching me do all this. And also it is 20 minutes long already, so okay. I'm going to come back when I've done up to the neck. Okay, so we are back. Now I have gone and trimmed my guinea pig at the back. You don't have to. If you like it really poofy, that's fine. I get carried away. I'll probably keep trimming this forever if I could. So now that we're up to here, now I'm gonna flick around and do the front here so that we can work on the front part. The same thing applies. You're just getting this. You're going to go, hopefully the little paws won't be in our way. So because it's only thin, you can actually get away with splitting this again so that it's actually only half of what that length was, because you're going to probably cut a lot more off of this front end. Now, hopefully I won't hit his claws. So I'm just going into the chest. The chest is relatively smooth, fluffy. This is where you might want to trim as you go for each one. Now you don't have to put glue. I actually didn't put as much glue as I thought I would. It's optional. You can put glue in every single one. You can also cut every single time you do it, so you could literally trim this here so that you don't have to stress about trimming it later. And then this will be the chest piece, and then when you fold it back over, it won't be as obvious. Just get it around that claw. Do be advised that the claws, they're not sharp. They are hard, but they're not sharp. That's why I chose the plastic thermal as a claw choice, because it yeah, it's not natural and all that, and save the planet crap, but it's doable. Now I did the if you don't like plastic claws, by all means cut them off. I just found my little guinea pig sat better with them, and also I didn't have to stress about them falling off, or in some cases melting off. So as you can see, I'm just kind of flattening it down so that it stays a little more softer rather than fluffier, because I don't want it to stick out too much, even though I probably should have it like out a little bit. Again, the same thing applies. Put it on, go up a half a centimetre as well. You don't have to do straight lines. Lines will work, but you know. And then you come down. As you can see, I didn't cut that one. I probably should have. The little chest is going to be a little bit longer, because they're not really hairy. Well, it's like a tidy. I mean, you learn to become a dog groomer at this stage, which is, you know, it's a talent. Okay, so because we're coming around the chest, the same thing, I don't need a lot of length. I just kind of split them in half and in half. I put them together to get more width, but I don't actually need length. Because I'm working on the front end of the guinea pig, this is why I don't do the ears until almost I've started on the head, because I myself hate bumping the ears, and many a times I've had to redo the ears after the fact, which is probably a good thing. I mean, you can do it. This is going to be a little bit more. And then, but you can see that this little guinea pig is coming up. She is coming along nicely. My little butterscotch or pumpkin one, whatever colour you want to call it. I don't name them, or at least I don't think I do. I haven't really thought about names for them. I do have a favourite, which probably is the one on my other video, my little chocolate one, because that was one of my first go-to tutorials that I made. I was super excited about that. Okay, so we won't cut too much because otherwise we'll stuff it up. So I almost said the F word. I don't want to swear on screen. I want to bugger it up. Okay, so this is where I kind of do this sideways. So I want to go from here up. Again, you only need a bit, so, and even that's probably too much because we're going here. I could probably have cut it in half, and actually, yes, you can still pull it off. I'm going to cut it in half. This is where you can, I don't like cutting wool, it just ruins the effect. But I put the cut end down because it's going to be hidden by the fluffy end. So I just kind of put that there. Because this isn't long, it's just enough to hang off the edge. So cover the guinea pig's paw. And then I can fold this over. Be careful of that wire in there. It is right there. I am hitting it. I'm not getting much wool to stick because of it, but it is there. If you use your needle as a brush, you can get it relatively cute. Like I said, all those worries that you had at the beginning with the feet are no longer worries because they look cute, and that's, you know, what you want. You want it to just kind of be a forgotten cuteness. Don't worry about this. I'm going to trim it all up because I'm obsessed. It's starting to come along. I really like how thick it is. Again, I leave the cutting down first, facing downwards, so that it cuts it. I'm going to cut it anyway, but it won't be so sharp or short. Now your guinea pig is supposed to be a baby. You might feel like it's not looking babyish. It's just the size, I guess. They are tiny. These are relatively large sized guinea pigs, large sized babies. I didn't want to do too small because I struggle with small items. And if you're a first time felter, you will too because of the size barrier. So as you can see, this is coming along. I kind of tilted into our angle now because we're kind of going back towards our, be careful of that wire. It's right there. A lot of these wires. I mean, I have felted with wire before, with armatures. I don't have a problem with it. It helps with sizing comparisons. I haven't really had a major problem with wire. That's probably why I work with bigger items. But I do like these items that are, I call palm sized. I think my next big thing will be trying to make rabbits. I've been trying to make rabbits for a long time, believe it or not. As you can see, it looks a bit unhairy, but don't stress because you're going to cover it. Fur is always going to grow. If you're super worried about it, you can always add hair, like later, into it. We made it covered. I've done pretty well with this. I give myself that. I haven't thought about not stopping. Usually, because I love starting projects, I don't like finishing them. See? Perfect. So it's all an illusion. Oh no, I'm cutting off screen. Sorry, I get just a little bit too engrossed and then I forget. So that is how you kind of get to the leg, that leg area. If you're worried about it, you can do some tufts in here. which are, you know, they are there. It's not hard to do. You can do some little tufts in there, cover up any holes that you think might be a problem. Because they are the front paws, they are more likely to be noticed. I don't really think much about the product once I've done it, because I mean, while I'm doing it, I'm very obsessed with it being perfect, and you know, it's got to look fairy here and it's got to look fairy there, and yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't think much about it after I've done it in that way. It's coming up nicely. Says the man with the scissors. Okay. Alrighty, so I will come back. I will do the other side, and I will meet you back up here when we're doing the front here, because I'm going to put the ears on next after I do that side. So we will come back. Alrighty, so we have done this much. As you can see, she looks a bit like a carpet. I have been trimming her progressively. I was going to get my shearer and have a bash at this, but yeah, we will wait. As you can see, perfect little feet that we've already forgotten about. Don't worry, I will be trimming all this up, blah, 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 blah. Now, back to our ears that we made way back ages ago. Now, I'd like to just kind of sit them on there. Now, this is technically too long, and this one's technically too long as well. So I'm just going to trim them up and rough out where I want what. Okay, so that one there, I will trim off along here. Now this is where your pins will come in handy. Now you want to kind of have it so that it curls roughly just above the ear, just below the ear, kind of, yeah, like little teddy bear squishles in the middle of nowhere. Now if you're still unhappy with your felting technique, you can go back and felt it a bit more, which I am doing, because I quite like mine to be very flat. I'll probably even run it over the hairdryer. This is where wax really works. You dunk it in wax and you flatten it out, and it just creates a nice little skin layer to your design. Of course, wax is a fire hazard and melting hazard. You can just use regular beeswax if you're really worried. It creates like a sheen of white. If you really want to, you can also use that soft fluffy clay. You squish it on the edges. It works, but it's, you know, if you just get the white one, you can always put felt colors to it, and then you'll be sweet. The idea of this, like I say, is just to be awesome. I have gone to the bigger needle just to get some of this all waxed down. Sometimes you might want to get a smaller needle. Smaller means not length, but smaller bite size. So you want to get a 42, because they're usually for fine work. 36s are usually, and 38s are your standard. They're not too bad. 40s are good. They can be relatively good. Again, this one here, because I've chosen that one as that ear and this one as here. I don't leave it on for long because I always worry it's going to catch fire. But that's just me. Now, as you can see, I've got little fluffy bits everywhere again, so I'll grab my magic clap and I'll reforce these back in. These create like a nice little shaper. You can actually really get into it. If you're like me and you get a plastic one, you'll be in your glory. I was very lucky to think of this one. I know they provide them in leather in some industries. I'm not really, I mean, I get the whole saving the planet, you know, look after the future and stuff. So this one here, because it's so big, we're only going to use probably this much. So I'm just going to cut this much off because we're going to shove him down there. So he's going to be relatively tight on there. Once we put them on, then we're pretty much on the home run. The face isn't as heavily fluffy as the rest, so you spread out your fur a little more. You can do those, I don't know what they call them, those little parts if you wanted, where they part their hair like little stardust or diamond twirls or whatever they are. That's totally up to you if you want to try it. I've not really bothered with a breed of guinea pig. I just kind of stick to cute, fluffy, and awesome. Now, as you can see, these are good. So now we want to just flop that over there. I'm just going to pop this in here because these are literally just going to be my, and then that one goes on top of that. As you can see, they're not really, I can't give them a bit of a curl, just so that I can put that one in there, and I'll put my curl, I'm putting little beads now in there. Now, as you can see, one is definitely not the same as the other, which is fine. We'll cut some off just so we're not actually trying to pad too much up. I make them in little hoods, so they look like little hoods. They might be a bit long, you might say. I don't like them this long, which is fine. You can cut them back. I probably will cut them back, especially this one. This one's very long. I only need like that much. There we go. So the more you can hide, the cuter it will be. If you wanted to do a different coloured ear, like the pink, you could. You might find it, you might be able to blend the pink and the peach pumpkin together, which is doable. It's just, you know, they are what they are, and yeah, they're gonna be cute. Now, it doesn't really matter if you have to put them in here. I'm just going to cut this off. Okay. The little hood is roughly the same size as that one, because there's nothing worse than not having the same size hoods, ears, they're not hoods, but I do make them look like little hoods. Now, as you can see, these are literally just sitting there in limbo. Now, if you're happy, I'm happy, we're all happy, we can do the stabbing of it. Now, you can stab them in just into the wall, you know, create any kind of effect. This one's got a bit of kink, so I'm just going to fold it over, but stab them in there pretty good. Once they're stabbed down, then you will add, I like to add a little bit of core wool onto the top layer so that it locks in the ear, and it also prevents it falling out because they are literally just all attached. There's no glue, the pins don't stay in, that's for sure. And if in doubt, don't freak out. They are easily to pull off and redo. Don't think that they're locked in forever. You can go from this side and that side. Now to get that little fold, you can just kind of do that, and they just kind of give that little fold. Doesn't really matter, I'm not a major fold fan. Guinea pigs are cute. See, coming along. Now, if you, like me, are very anal about stuff, I don't think I have any more cool. Some here. Now this core wool, of course, it's going to make the head a little bit fatter, but that's okay. I like my little heads to be a little bit more headier. You could have just added straight fur to this if you wanted, you know, so you don't have to actually use the core wool. You could just use the ball of colour, roll it up, shove it in, felt it down, everyone's happy. As you can see here, it's a bit white against all the contrasting, but it locks everything down the way I like. And, you know, you can stab relatively heavy here, so I'm going to get the thicker one, just to get all of that locked in. So there's less chance of it falling out, less chance of it falling over. Because I've already positioned the ears, that's relatively what we want. Now we can get more wool. And now because we're coming up to the top of the head, we actually don't need it very long. The length is actually less important now, as well as the thickness. I'll just put in this one. This one here will go straight from ear to ear. And this one will also come up, because I'll need to come up into his skull a little bit better. I will go here along that bit. You can add glue. I haven't for a while now. I think I added a little bit back in the neck and shoulders, but not a lot. Again, optional. It's not a requirement. It is pretty much at your leisure. I just provide the bottle because I know how hard it is to find a tiny little squirty bottle for glue. And, you know, so hopefully you're enjoying the tutorial and you're enjoying making your guinea pig. And if you do enjoy it, leave a like, write a comment, share with friends, yada yada yada. Don't be afraid to contact me. I'm sure I can figure out how to answer people via emails, etc. The good news is I'm only just starting, so I'm more than likely to be over the moon by people contacting me. Not social media savvy, so that's not a good thing to advertise, I guess. Yeah, so if you want, just comment in your, put a comment in there, say you love guinea pigs, you love watermelons, you have 6 dogs, or you're just lonely. I'm not too worried, not too fussy, so I'm going to take this again. You will find yourself readjusting a lot through the process for length. So again, we're getting a bit hairy here, so the top of a guinea pig's head is actually relatively thin. No, not thin, just shorter fur. I've left it relatively long. I'm going to trim it back, I know I am. And then of course, again, I know it looks like I could stab myself, and I probably will if I look away. I've had quite a few years practicing this, and I still stab myself, so don't think it's not a thing. And yes, it hurts. It makes me cry. I guess the masking tape, and I feel so much better. The key is to have a tissue nearby, because it does bleed ridiculously a lot. As you can see, I'm coming over the top here, and then I'm coming down the sides. So I'm at the top of the ears, if you could call it. These little guinea pigs are, well, I did some of them, the cause shapes, depending on what one you got. You all know you might have a thicker head or a thinner head. That's up to you if you've added more core to it. I have relatively made them the same. I don't think it matters too much. These guinea pigs are, I think one would call it common guinea pig, although they are relatively fluffy, common guinea pig. So as you can see, now I probably will end up getting my shearers out and shearing this all back. As you can see, you want to kind of keep your neck area relatively laid out so that your back end, I think I just cut too much because I do that. I always get excited cutting, and then I just think, meh, I'll go with it. As I say, each their own. If you F it up, just shear it off and sew it on, you'll be right. You kind of can't make a guinea pig look too ugly. They are just blubbly little jelly beans. Now, as you can see, the ears are blending in relatively well. You can't even tell there are ears there now. If you really wanted, you can put some brown in when you're felting them to make them darker. You can also run some black or white or peach around them. Try and make them look a bit lively. I know I'm going to keep trimming if I'm not careful.